microphone for some reason on this. But he's here. Just, Phil, talk so that we can see if they can hear you.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
cool.
we gotta stop here a little earlier, so let me just get going. So, Phil, the first thing I want to talk about, there's 4 categories of things that I wanted to go over with you. Number one is sort of the dates around that you sent out for completion of the project, and I want to start with and you two real estate folks may chime on this. What day are we closing?
What day of certificate of occupancy, or what day of your closing?
Oh, closing. So you have here 11/4 is the certificate of occupancy. Is that we were realistically going to close what day after that? A week, 2 weeks?
Whatever's convenient for you guys. It's up to you then.
Yeah, that's up to us in the contract. So it's plus days from CO that we still currently have written in. Currently, the contract states 14 days plus the certificate of occupancy. So that would be the 18th of November.
Okay, and does anybody know about title companies? And I mean, on the loan side, we're there. We just they could just do it. So, okay, all right. So,
and so that will actually flow. There doesn't have to be a.
So if we called the lender and said the closing date is November 18th, that would be fine with everybody on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about the 10th? What's the earliest?
So essentially, they'd like to close, at least the message that I've heard from both Phil and Dina multiple times, is they'd like to close as close to CO as possible. So essentially, the only days that we had in there were just for us to be able to make sure that we had the loan and all the documents that we needed to review in a timely manner. And we already have everything in that we need to review. And you guys have the loan and financing situation squared away. So I think as far as however many days plus CO you guys are comfortable closing, we can write that into an amend and extend.
Okay, we're going to do Thursday, November 11th. That's 1 week from the CO.
Phil, are you comfortable with that?
Yes, I am.
All right, and then so let me just. I just want to confirm your lender is, because the lender is the only person that kind of hangs that up. So if your lender is.
The lender has a 45-day window, and that closes on November 8th.
Yeah,
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Okay. All right. So Thursday the 11th is what I'm going to put in here for the closing date that we're just going to that's going to go into the amendment. So Thursday the 11th, that would be close, and COO is going to be on the 4th. Okay. So Phil, can you give us a little narrative? I have your information here, and the details don't really matter all that much, but in terms of what has to happen between now and however far in advance you have to have everything done for them to schedule the inspection, how does all that sit right now?
The only thing that was pressing, Jay, is the mechanical inspection. I'm waiting on a back order piece of pipe for the one fireplace in the living room. I got your fireplace hooked up in your bedroom already. We're waiting on the electrician for a couple of things. But it's all about the mechanical inspection and the downdraft. So I've been trying to find a downdraft somewhere else. But I haven't had any luck yet, but I'm still trying. They won't give me an answer.
You're talking about not just the inspection, but you have to actually do work to make it inspectable.
Well, the thing is the county requires a hood for your stovetop, and whether it goes up or down, that doesn't matter, but it has to be in at time of CO. But when I have the inspector out, I'm going to have him out on Tuesday of next week, whether I have a downdraft or not, and then get an answer from him, and then I'll have a direction from him at that time. But I want to have all the other mechanical stuff done prior to having him out. So he looks at where the downdraft goes. He sees that it's ordered. Hopefully he just bonds that or something. I got to find out from him.
But so my question was, we're still waiting on parts that have to be installed to make this fully operational.
Yeah, like I purchased the downdraft in May, and they won't even give me a date. And I've spent probably 6 hours on the friggin' phone with those people.
Okay, so so I'm looking at any of the other stuff. It looks like you've got some things coming in, items. But all the other stuff, there's no really holdup in terms of inspections or things that need to be built out.
No, I went and got all the closet doors. The one thing for Linda is I spent 2 hours talking to the pro desk at Home Depot, and they don't even know where to get a closet door, just a blank slab that matches the doors that we have, which is the number one door that they have there at Home Depot and Avon. So I bought wood, they're nice looking wood solid panel doors to put in now, and I'm paying for those, and then once I find doors that match all the interior doors, I'm gonna come back and put those in the spring if we can't do it in November. So the closet doors are on site, but the ones that I wanted to get you guys, which looks exactly like the doors to the bedrooms, I have to find those through Home Depot, and the guy is supposed to call me back today, but Home Depot's kind of having trouble with employees.
So the sliding doors, this is where we're gonna get sort of out of my depth in terms of what the actual changes are, but the sliding doors match the rest of the doors. These doors that come open regularly do not. Is that what I'm understanding?
They're called bypass doors or French doors. So I'm going to be able to put the French door in for the laundry for Linda. So I'm going to go ahead and eat that. And then, so I have those French doors, and then we're going to install them tomorrow. My trim guy's here today. And then the other doors are bypass, and I need to get 4 slabs that are 2-panel shakers. And I can't get those right now. So
Okay, 1 second. Okay. All right. So then where we are on, so we've talked about the items that are going to be withheld from the escrowed from the purchase price for the spring are the foundation, the fireplace, stone. And do you have, I know that you said the guy wasn't available, but do you have the actual stone, or does the stone have to be sourced as well?
I have some stone on property. I need to get another pallet. Okay. Because the thickness of the stone that I have left over from the entry is too thick. Okay. Is the main problem with that. And then the stone is down in Denver, and then I have to go down and get a couple of pallets of it.
Okay.
If I get CO and I can do it before I leave, then I'm definitely going to try to get that stone in before Thanksgiving.
And then the other piece was the windows. We're going to make the light windows to the contiguous, or to the rest of the house, not contiguous, but to match the rest of the house windows. And I don't know which, those are 2. There was one in your bedroom and one in the master bedroom.
They were the 2 windows for egress.
So they were 2 egress windows, Jay, and they're both installed right now. The one in the basement is a metal-clad wood window, so that one's fine. It doesn't need a replacement next year. The other window is the egress window in your room in the master bedroom, and that one has a vinyl clad on the inside and a metal clad on the outside. and it's just a matter of getting that through Gregory door and window, and they'll have it, and then we can install it in the spring.
Hang on a second.
And that cost is all on me, of course.
Okay. All right.
There we go.
I muted
I'll
it.
hold the phone and it's better.
Okay. All right. Let's go through, and this is where Allie and you're going to probably need to chime in. So, what are the items that are outstanding, Phil, and that you guys have talked about that are still sort of non-contractual at this point, have just been discussions? And where do we stand on those? I know we've got, I can read off the list here. We've got the railing. Yeah, the hand railing on the stairs and the exterior.
I'll be able to have the interiors done for CO, but the exterior is up to the guys who did it. And they've got like 2 other jobs going on, so I know he can get to it in November, but
I'm sorry, Phil.
Yes.
Phil, I apologize. I put you on mute. I forgot that you're coming through my feed. So can you talk about the exterior and the interior rails again? I apologize.
Sure. Jonathan's my welder, and he said he can get to the interior handrails because we want them to look like the exterior, so he's going to put his time into that. And then the exterior, he said he can get to it before the end of the year. What that date is, I can't pin him down on that. I can give you his phone number and you can talk to him directly, and then and work out that schedule.
Yeah, that might be an issue. I'll make a note here of what you just said.
I mean, if I can't get the actual rails up, we can give you a temp J for the dogs.
What was that called? Porch rails? Porch rails?
I don't know what a tap jig is. I have no idea what a tap jig is.
What is that?
He said if we can't get the rails up, he could give us a tap jig for the
A
dogs.
temporary fence? Something?
Yeah,
Temporary rails.
Temporary rails.
I never.
Okay. Okay, so the interior rails he's committed to doing, but the exterior rails he is not.
It's just out of my hands, Jake. I'm not a welder, so.
he's committed.
We talked about this in
I'm
August.
just trying to ask. So the bottom line is he's committed to the interior rails, just not the exterior right now.
I
No,
can give you a temp rail if they can't get to it. If
No,
they can
not
get
you,
to it, they'll get
the
it
welder
done.
guy, Phil. I'm talking about the guy that said the welding stuff. You said I'm just trying to repeat what you said. You said the interior rail will be installed, but the exterior will not be finished before the end of the year, or maybe if we call it.
Yeah.
Okay.
but he is committed. Just know that. It's not that the welder will do the exterior. He just doesn't know if he can have it to you by CO. So that's what.
Yeah, but it's not a money thing to be held back because that's on the seller anyway, the exterior rails.
Well, but we never got a price.
I told you 4,800, which is now lower than what cost of steel is, so it was going to be 4,800 for that. I think I have a text to you, Linda.
Phil's calling back. Okay, I just need to make some notes. We're trying to make sure I understand what we're all saying here. Exterior rails,
Can you just take your own?
okay. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about the grading of the side yard is what my mom has here for and the rail to be installed. Is that something else that we would have to negotiate directly with Jonathan at some point in the future?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, Jay?
Turn it off, please. Just turn it off. Oh, turn it off. So, the stuff you talked about for my mom, the railing in the side yard, steps to get up there, all that sort of stuff. So is that always something that you would consider to be later because of the snow or whatever?
Yeah, basically, you mean just a walk path for Linda?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're talking about wherever there needs to be additional railing in the yard. There was another
We
place.
talked about creating a pathway for me to go down steps to get from the parking area or where the, fire pit is.
From the fire pit to the backyard,
To the back,
basically.
to the bottom of the new patio on the back. Some way for me to get back down there that use steps where I could transverse easily and not have to go through the house or whatever.
Yeah, I thought, I was told by, I think it might have been Bryce or Dina, that to concentrate solely on the inside, so I pulled off the outside. But if you want some steps in there, I can easily get those in before closing.
I'm not sure. Does that mean in addition to actually following the path we already have in terms of the closing date, or would that change the closing date? And I don't think it's the steps, so I don't know exactly what you're trying to say there.
I'm not gonna be able to go downhill unless it's, excavated so that I have some kind of step or something to go to.
Yep. In the winter, you're not gonna wanna go out there at all.
Go to the spring
But,
zone.
I can definitely get your steps in from your, where the rock wall is off the basement level. At the very end, I can put some steps up there, and then, there's a little, 3/4 gravel path that brings you up to the steps on the deck. Once the snow starts flying, then the snow sheds off the roof in that area.
Okay.
So the
Well,
winters,
in order
I
for
mean,
me to. Okay.
Okay, all right, okay, so it looks like we've purchased, bathroom stuff, fixtures, stuff like that hasn't been reimbursed. So
He hasn't even gotten all the units.
it's being shipped, okay. Has some of that stuff started to arrive yet, Phil?
no, it's not been here yet.
It's coming. You should be getting it in the next couple of weeks. I know I'm getting emails, that say it's delivered, it's been shipped, it's, expected delivery is like
Close.
next week, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we talked about some, and I'm not sure when this would fit in again, trees planted on the berm on the right side of the driveway between the house that's to the, north, is that right? North? Is that something that we were gonna do in the fall or spring?
Now's a good time, or in the spring. Like I said before, I'm concentrating on the inside of the house, and then we'll see, if we have time to get to planting those trees for you. But, if you wanna hold some money back, Jay, for 3, aspen trees and 2 little tiny spruces is what I was gonna put on that hill. And then the rest is gonna be wildflower seed.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I purchased all my trees, through Doug Tilley out of Fairplay, Colorado. And I can get you some pricing on those, by tomorrow. If you
All right.
just smell it.
Okay. All right, so the items that we still have in the contract, all right, so I've got multiple computers running here at the same time. Oops, there it is, okay. So we have some things that are, so clearly you're not going to be able to deliver the foundation. Or is that still something that's a possibility?
No, that's not a possibility till the spring.
Okay, so that's obviously a withhold, but it would mean that we have to augment the contract and give that up. And we'll need to discuss kind of what would be the consideration for that. Oops. And then I don't know if there's anything else in the, sorry, I'm gonna get my glasses off for 1 second. Okay, so it also says in here that box that you said you sold to your friend is conveyed to us in the contract.
Yeah, I saw that in the contract. You can have the box, Jay. It's all yours, Mike.
I don't know that we want the box. I just don't know what exactly to do with it. Have you already sold it?
My neighbor, Stevie wants it, the guy that's doing the flat work, and I was gonna use it to pay for some of the flat work.
Okay, so just trade it. Okay.
Yeah.
Will there be stuff that we would have to store in there over the winter, or would it be something that it doesn't really, it's not helpful to have on the premises?
It's totally up to you when you guys want to relinquish the box. I thought you wanted it to put your furniture in as it arrived. So I told Stevie that he would just have to contact you or Linda, and then you would tell him, like, hey, Stevie, when we start the garage, you can come get the box. And then he and I will move that box off the property for you.
Okay. So, is there anything else? Bryce, you have the contract in front of you. As I scroll, I can never find what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for the page that has all the little written items. Are those the only two things that we have in there that really haven't been?
Let me pull up the contract real quick. It should be in the due diligence section, which I think is like 10.1.6.
Go the other way. All right.
It's my iPad there, I put my pen.
Okay, there it is. You got it. Oh, yeah, I was just trying to scroll fast. Okay, so you said you got your well inspection. We would need that for the STR, so I guess that's already good. You got that on the first, I think. Your septic inspection, I'm sorry, not your well.
Yeah, everything's fine, Jake.
Okay. Build log. Okay, all right, so as far as the floor, I think that is the only issue outstanding then is what we're doing with the floor downstairs. Is there anything else that we need to discuss that, because I know that we've talked about, I think my mom's gone and looked at the flooring options, so I think we can make a decision on that. Is that, we have the rest of the floors are good, just not that floor? Okay. And
Yeah, Jay, it was just in the basement, and I apologize. It's my fault for missing that in the paperwork. When I read it, I read the hydronic heat, and so that's totally on me, and I apologize. And I just want to make it right. I don't want Linda to have a problem with cupping floor down there.
yeah, so we just return whatever you don't use on the floors that we're using on the other two levels, and then you can talk to, one of y'all has talked to Floor and Decor and figured out what we can use that fits their criteria, right? Do you know what it's called?
Oh, Butter, you gave me two samples. So Floor and Decor here, I have both of the samples in front of me. One of them has no warranty or has a limited warranty. The other one has a lifetime warranty and the cork backing. I think it's called Butter Cream or something like that.
Okay.
Why don't you get the exact? We'll get
I
the
will.
exact.
I have it on, but I've been pulling other stuff up for Jay.
Well, that's fine, Linda. You can just have Bryce give that to Dina, or you can shoot it to me in a text if you'd like.
Okay.
And that's awesome. Thanks for working with me on that. I appreciate that.
Oh, do I say it wrong? Okay.
Yeah, here it is, here it is.
Okay.
It's called, Butter Toast Rigid Core Luxury Vinyl Plank Core Back. $379 a square foot.
Okay, will you,
Yeah, so we'll prorate you whatever the difference is on the floor if there's a difference.
will you,
I didn't
Even
just
though-
copy that, you'll send to me, just copy this, and I'll put these notes, guys, will you turn the fan on? Okay.
And then Jay, a couple of things I want to give to you is I got you guys a new water filter, and we never talked about a garbage disposal. We never used one, but I went ahead and got you guys a good Moen garbage disposal as well. So you have a garbage disposal now and a water filter, which I've never had, but it's just another form of safety for all your appliances.
Okay, yeah, we use water filters here, but we've got hard water in Texas. Okay. I think, I'm looking at all your, so you've got your, trying to the time, I wanna make sure I've got all these things here. So the time frames are, yeah, the other time frames you have here really aren't important for the amendment that we're gonna need. It really is when we think the closing is gonna be, when we think the certificate of occupancy is gonna be, and we've got those two. I've got invoices here, but these are really, this is just what they're just telling us what you owe to various vendors.
The labor, I owe some of the labor, but I can take care of that, and I can take care of the BBC as well if that needs to be. But we can do the labor on the flooring after the floor is installed and Bryce comes out and looks at it.
You're saying we can pay for the labor when they come up? I'm not sure what you're saying.
No. You can release the funds after the floor is in, is what I'm saying, if you want to do it that way.
Okay, well, that's part of what we're talking about now. We haven't committed to releasing anything at this point, and I guess we need to figure out kind of how we would go about doing that. And part of that release would be an itemized. We're all aware, maybe Dina, are you and Phil both aware that we're looking to have an amendment to this contract that ratifies some of the dates that are in place now and some of the specifications that we just talked about?
Yes,
Okay.
and we've been waiting for it. Yeah, I know that you got your lawyer involved.
Right. Well, one of these is just having this conversation so we can hopefully tell the lawyer what to do rather than him telling us what to do, which would be a problem for everybody if he starts to be in charge. So, I guess what I'm trying to figure out, Phil, you have in your head what you think these draws are going to be for and what we're going to pay and what we're not going to pay. And it would be helpful for us to see what that is, because I'm looking at a bunch of numbers here, and all of these in my mind would be paid by you. And if there's a financial situation in which you can't pay them and we're now stepping up beyond what is contractual, we're going to expect something back for that. And so that's basically what we need to determine, what we want back for that. Because the release of the funds was really at the certificate of occupancy. We think that the original escrow was pretty fair.
You know what, Jay? Let's not worry about it. I'll take care of it. How about that?
Okay.
We're done.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks.
All right. And then, so the rest of it will be put into the contract per our, lawyer, and I'll send it over to Bryce or Dina, whoever gets it, and you guys can look it over and sign it, or if you have issues. But basically, the things that we're gonna want in there are the changing of the dates, the escrow amounts for the items that we're talking about. Right now, I've got foundation, fireplace, windows, towel bar stuff, and trees. Is there anything else that you could think of? Okay.
We have to prorate the concrete, but on the patio, the total is 700 square feet, is what the builder guy that came out, Mike Costello, said. And 200 square feet of that is mine, and 500 square feet of it is yours. And then on the concrete with the garage, we have to prorate that for the office wall as opposed to the other concrete on the garage.
Well, I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna come up with a number and you can tell me whether you'll do it or not. That seems complicated and I'm not sure how I would verify that in a time frame that's gonna allow us to get this done. You know, the guy that came out said what he said about, you know, the putting the foundation in. I don't have any more information than that.
And maybe Bryce, you can talk with Mike Costello and see what's fair. We can figure this out. You and I can step in and help.
I mean, what came across when Mike was on property was the estimates that Phil provided and the estimates that he provided were essentially spot on. It's just based on like what Phil's saying is his original design was not to include the office space, which is an additional square footage, which, you know, he doesn't feel like should be withheld. But I think at least the number that we were thinking about was about around 35,000 for all of the flat work that needed to happen, if I'm not mistaken.
Phil, what are your thoughts on that?
It was for the entire foundation with the office, and it was the patio stamped at the highest price that you could pay, which is $20 a square foot. He offered it up at 14 a square foot, and I told him to put it at the high end, and so he did. And so that was included with that 35,000. I thought it was 33.5, but
okay, no, it was 30. It was rated at 33-ish.
yeah, so 33.5, and that was the entire patio, 700 square feet patio, and then the entire garage footprint with the office.
Yep.
So you and I can work on that and then bring it back to Jay and Linda and see if they're comfortable with that and if Phil is comfortable with that. All right?
Yeah, I'm just looking for a proration.
I can give you that answer now. We're not gonna be comfortable with a number that is less than that, because that's what's been told to us by somebody that we can get to pour the concrete. So it's not gonna be, we're not, like I said, we didn't enter this to become builders. That's why we wanted the foundation poured in the first place. We also, when we talked about it, we never were discussing a foundation that was not the foundation for the garage, an above garage set of rooms and an office. That was always what our discussion was. So, you know,
Not really.
we
When
also,
you guys came on property, you looked at the garage and the entryway, and then we started talking. That's when that conversation happened. You hadn't even seen the plans for the garage with the apartment.
Yeah, we have.
that's
Yeah, we have.
we actually had copies of the plans before we made a bid on the house. Okay, well, I guess we might have an impasse then in some ways, because I also don't want to be responsible for whatever fluctuations occur in the concrete market between now and then. So, you know, like I said, our position is that, you know, we're fine with the slab being poured and the slab being put in place. And it sounds like we're kind of getting into some specifics on how many square feet we're going to pour and what that amount's going to be, and I can't tell you what that is. Now, if you think you can tell me exactly what it is, fine, but I mean, that's a tough one for me, right? We were told by the only other person that we had data from that it's going to cost us about 35 grand to pour this thing.
How about this, Jay? How about you hold back the 33.5, which is your portion and my portion, until next year, and then you pay your portion, I pay my portion when we do the work.
Well, okay, then let's follow up on what. First of all, we haven't agreed on anything, so I guess we have a difference of opinion as to what we had discussed, and this has happened now a couple of times where things have been said, and you know, perhaps we made a mistake in not ratifying this earlier, clearly. So what I'm trying to figure out is I don't know what that means. The concrete for the I honestly don't want to do the math. So you're telling me there's a concrete portion of the patio that when they pour all the foundation, they're going to pour that too at the same time, but we're going to reimburse you as if it was poured independently?
No, when your contractor came out and he did the 33,500, what he came up for the total amount, that was broken down into two parts, which Bryce has, I believe, that paperwork. I never got to see it. But I think it was that the patio was 19,500, and then that the concrete for the garage was the remaining portion. Because the stamped concrete with the etching and the staining that Linda wants, the reason that we don't want to do it right now is because I want Linda to look at that. It's very crucial. It's a one-time deal. That's the only reason that we're pushing it till next year. But if she comes out in 2 weeks and she can look at samples and we can pour that patio, I would love to pour that patio, but I didn't know she was coming back out. My neighbor Stevie, he's ready to go now. You know, he wants to pour that thing.
So Bryce, you have some kind of itemization of what so if my math is correct, the foundation for the garage is gonna be $14,000 and the patio is gonna be $19,000?
So Mike Costello broke everything down on a sheet of paper, and David got that sheet of paper at the end of it. I'll grab that sheet of paper if David still has it, and get a photocopy of it and send it over via email so you have a breakdown. But it was for both the patio itself that will be pressed and stamped concrete, as well as the foundation for the garage.
Okay. And Phil, what was the plan? Let's say we decide we don't want to do the patio. What was your plan for the back? Were we going to purchase? Again, I'm trying to get my head around what would we be buying had we waited till you were done? Would there just be nothing in the back room? Was it going to be just the rocks, or was it grass? What were we going to have back there, you know, outside the back
Originally,
room?
Jay, I had a 200 square foot patio with flagstone, and then I had a sodded yard.
Okay, and that's what you were talking about, the 200 minus the 500 or whatever that number was?
Yeah, when Linda came out, she's like, Phil, I don't want to be walking, you know, I want to have concrete back here. And then we talked about the fireplace, and then we talked about doing a gas fireplace, and then we decided that we weren't going to do a gas fireplace. But once that patio got bigger, it went from 200 square feet to 700 square feet. And that didn't include, there's an additional, which Mike Costello did not bid. He could come back out and do it, but I calculated it. Let's see, it was the walkway from the porch to the entry that we had looked at that last time you guys were here. And it's basically 8 foot wide by 30 feet.
Okay, all right.
So that would be an additional cost, Jay.
Okay, give me a second here.
Hey, I apologize if it's getting loud. We've got some guys working here and we didn't realize they'd be working right underneath
That's
us.
fine. I'm just going through the things that I have written down here. I'm gonna make sure I've covered all the bases before I sign off. Sorry about that. Just give me a second.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so what we've got here is the closing date of the 11th of November, CO the 4th. The only thing we're waiting on for the house to be completed would be the mechanical down-drop situation. The items that we would look to hold for the spring would be the foundation, the fireplace stone, the windows, whatever the tile bar costs, and then the trees. Is there anything, Phil, that we're not kind of covering that you still feel like there's something that we need to work through in order to get this thing done?
Just Linda's walkway. I really want to make that nice for her, and I think that I'm going to add a couple of metal handrails into the rock wall. And when she's out here, I want to go over that with her. So that'll probably be in the spring for that, or the location that I want to do. But she might pick a different location, and it's all just a matter of moving a couple of boulders, Jay. So my neighbor's my excavator, so he can come over and help us out with that in the springtime if that happens. But it's more of it's kind of aesthetic look because she's an interior designer, so I want her to have some more.
Yeah, I can't even visualize what you're saying. You're talking about these would be like structural to help people walk, or they'd be like kind of just as a visual thing.
There's just stone steps. I can go to another house that I built and take some pictures of what they have. But basically, it's kind of like meandering stone steps come down through that rock wall of the upper parking. And then it comes down to your entry, or it comes down into your yard, but she has to make that choice. And then the other steps are down below,
Okay.
It's like a day's work to make a bunch of steps, and then it's another day for the guy to weld a couple of handrails if the well's in a steep section.
All right. And the railing issue is, that's kind of a weird one. We wouldn't want a temporary railing system. That doesn't, right? It's not going to match up.
I can try to pin my guy down, but I can't get a hold of him until next week. He's on a different project.
I don't know that we'd even want to install something that you'd have to uninstall, especially during the winter, but.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be accommodating because I know you got little dogs, and I know my dog is my baby, so I don't really want them getting away and can't find him in the snow. So we're going to try our hardest, Jay, to get those done by Thanksgiving because I figure you guys want to be out for the holidays. So let me just work really hard on that and see if I can't push him and pay him a little extra on top of the $4,800 to get that done for you.
Okay.
I just can't commit a date, that's, you're asking for a date, I know that, and I apologize, but I can't give you a date when I'm not the guy doing the work. If I'm doing the work, then I can give you a date.
Yeah, I'm just, like I said, and tell me if I'm wrong on this one. The issue that we're dealing with, so some of these dates is that, you always thought that October 15th was the date, right? And now we're getting to the point where we have actually committed to financing, and so we are on a time clock for the first time because of that.
Yeah, this is good that we're doing this.
Right. So any extension beyond that, right, obviously, we're going to look to make you responsible for it to some extent, at least as long as we've got these dates as we understand them now in place. So, and obviously any time before we can actually close. I would love to have more time, Jay.
I would love to have more time, but, it sounds like you guys, you need that 8th is your date, or 11th. That's the latest you can go. Right?
Again, I want to be clear that we only did that based on your assurance we'd be done by then. We could have waited forever.
You're in the construction business, and when somebody flakes on you and they don't show up and they don't call you and you're trying to find them, and it puts your schedule off and you run into things that are beyond your control, like ordering things. That's kind of where I'm at. But I live here. I'm trying my hardest, and if I have more days, that makes me feel more comfortable. But I want this thing to happen. I'm more than you do. And, if you want these dates, man, I'm going to make it happen.
Okay. All right. Well, I will get all this information to our attorney. He will write it up in attorney words and get it out to y'all. And hopefully it'll be kind of as we've said here. If something is not as we have discussed thus far, then let us know. Otherwise, you can sign it, we'll countersign, and we'll be on our way.
Jay, do you feel good about me and the project?
Yeah, I do. I guess my only concern, Phil, honestly, is just that, we've gone back and forth on a lot of stuff. We are now committed on financing, which you know, is the only real issue. There are some issues with, I guess, some of the back and forth that really, you know, you and my mom and Allie have had. But no, I think we want the house, right? We're not looking to do anything to not close. So we're excited about the house. I'm brought in a position where this is kind of what my role in all this family stuff is, and so you know, I'll work with the attorney and we'll get that put together, and then we'll hopefully just be able to move on our merry way and get this done.
Yeah, and just tell Linda that, you know, she's my angel, and I'm gonna make this thing nice for her.
Awesome.
That's all I'm about.
All right, fantastic. Okay, well we'll be in touch, I guess. I don't know how long it's going to take him. He said a couple days, but I'll reach out to him today, or maybe I'm actually driving somewhere tomorrow, and then let him work on it. Get it to y'all next week.
Okay, I'm gonna get you pricing over the next couple of days for the trees, the window, and the stonework. Is that correct? Okay.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
Anything else for us?
No, thank you for everything.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. All right, Phil, I think we're done.
It's just me and you now?
Yes, we are.
Oh my God, I'm sweating balls in this truck.
Well, you did good. Thank you
Never
for.
leave your dog in the car.
Well, you did good, and thank you for being, you know, really, you know, accommodating to them. And I think that helped with.
Well, I knew where he was headed.
Yeah.
I can't go there.
Yeah.
I would have told him to fuck off.
Yeah. Right, and I'm glad you didn't. So just, I'm gonna tell Bryce that we need this amendment sooner than later because it was supposed to be a couple weeks ago. We need to get that, and you just stay focused and you know what you need to do. So let's just go from there. Okay?
Yeah, and I thought, you know, I told him like, oh, I'm giving you this. I'm gonna give you a water softener. I'm gonna give you this.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Can't really not be happy, you know?
Yeah. But they are, you know, you can tell they're all business right now, and that's their job. So.
Yeah, but holding back their portion of the concrete, I mean, come on, dude. It's like.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's maybe it was vague and it wasn't written down in the very beginning, and let's see how they word it. But like you said, hold it back. Just get it done. Okay. Yeah.
And they can go back and look at all the emails I sent to you and Bryce about, like, this is what I wanted to do in the beginning, you know? Like, we wrote it all down. I remember that. And then when it came back, it wasn't everything that we had talked about.
Well, I'll look back at the emails that you sent, but there was a lot.
First Amendment, you know?
The First Amendment.
Or whatever, you know, where it said, like, this is what needs to happen, like, built-ins and all that.
Oh.
Didn't say anything about concrete, didn't say anything. And if the concrete's not in the contract, then I don't think I need to sign anything else, do we?
You're gonna have to sign off on the amendment. And if you don't sign off on the amendment, they are going to give you a very hard time.
Yeah.
So I'll look at it.
Come back and tell me that I owe for the entire garage. That's bullshit.
No, I don't think he will. Let's see how he comes back. And let's not even go down that road right now.
Yeah.
I'll look at the emails or the amendments again and work on it with Bryce, because if there is some sort of not meeting of the minds, Bryce and I are going to have to figure out a way to have a meeting of the minds. And usually it means someone gives and the other one gives, and then that becomes 100%. So
all I've done is give.
What?
That's all I've been doing is bending over.
Yeah.
Backwards. pulling my pants down and bending over.
Well,
So,
you know, Phil, she
I'm
gave
about
you
done with it.
$100,000 that was free and clear. Most people would have given you $100,000 to sit in escrow that would have became yours at the time of the closing. So you have to remember she gave you and she pulled her pants down and bent over for you. So seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to remember, Phil, it's both ways, all right? You got to try to take the emotion out of it. It's been both ways. She's been very, very good to you. And yes, you know, and that's the reason why we're dealing with this is because he said, she said. It should be between the brokers communicating and having everything written down. That's why we're here. So we'll get it worked out, but we've got to be, you know, like I said, we've got to, you know, get to the part where Bryce and I are negotiating and coming back to the two parties to make this work if you are not comfortable with the language in their amendment. They want the house. Just remember, they've been good to you too, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
You know, I know, yeah.
I know you can go down the rabbit hole. You've been trying to, you know, give everything and make everybody happy, but you got a job right now and you need to get it done. So let's just stay focused. And anything that we can do to help you, besides doing the labor on everything, because we're not that good, you know, you let us know.
Well, that's, you know, Jonathan, so once he leaves your house, I just need him over here.
Yeah.
Because that's the reason I can't give him an answer on the handrails.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And
Well,
I told him about it 3 months ago.
okay.
He knew about my interior rails a year ago. So, you know, but it's his business. So he's going to go where he goes.
Well, let's, you know, the exterior rails, what she needs, the interior rails, let's find out, like, you know, let's find out what he needs to, how much time he needs to get that done. Okay?
Yeah. So if you see him on site today, you could give him a shout about that.
I will.
See. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. Just let us
How's your
know.
project going?
It's like in that stage of, will it get done? It will be, you know, but they're calling for snow next week and I don't have a stick of insulation. So, yeah, anyway, we'll get there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. I got a guy in front of me. I'll
All right.
talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.